You know, in the 30 seconds in the fight, I don't know exactly if he needed me or the foot just hit the cup, but my cup broke. I felt it, and the cup like falls down, and I'm like, oh, the cup broke. No one really knows what's going on. You know, I'm having to take my pants off in the cage, so it's kind of this awkward situation. So I was kind of like going through my head of like, I don't want to take a chance on them calling the fight off over something stupid like this. So we're just like, cut off the strings. I just put it in my regular compression shorts. So obviously it wasn't tight or anything. You know, it was moving around the whole time. Even when we were on the ground grappling, he would just move his knee a little bit and it would kind of go push under my butt. And it was just kind of an awkward situation, threw me off. And, you know, the first 30 seconds, we had the game plan of, you know, being first, landing first, and I was worked out perfectly, and then it all threw off my whole game kind of. And, you know, and I blame myself. You know, I let it mess my game plan, and that's what I was mostly disappointed that. I got away from my game plan a little bit, but, you know, like you said, it was a 30-27 win, and, you know, you can't be too disappointed, but because a win in the UFC is a big win, but I definitely have big expectations for myself, and I want to keep fighting better fighters, and I just got to perform a little better. Finishes are the key to staying in the game.
What was the game plan for him, and is there anything that he did that surprised you out there?
Well, the game plan was definitely to be first with my hands and have my left foot be on the outside of his right foot. You know, that's the key to being a southpaw. And I kind of, like I said, I got away from the game plan and let him get on the outside. So, you know, he was having a quicker punch to me and kind of was reacting first, which was forcing me to grapple a little bit more than I was intending to in the fight, which expends a lot of energy. Everyone knows, you know, grappling's you know, it's very strenuous on the body. So it's kind of a thing that this fight I wanted to work a little bit more. I'm not just staying on the legs, so I was coming up and working on the body a little bit and not trying to burn myself out where I had nothing left.
How do you feel coming out of the fight? Any injuries?
No, I feel good. You know, it's just more of a thing where awkward situation, and it's kind of a. I mean, I've never seen it happen before, so it's something different, and you know, it's just what are you going to do about it? Now I just got to go back and keep getting better and kind of push myself. And you know, I want to fight the best fighters in the world. That's my game, and you know, I'm not scared to fight anyone. I'll fight anyone. I just want to ideally get a full camp again. You know, like I said, I took a year off because of the neck, and I haven't put a lot of fights together in a year, so I'd like to fight 3-4 times this year. So ideally, you know, take like a week or two off, get back into training right away, get back with my, you know, Perfecting Athletes. We're running my diet this time, so it was our first time fully working together the whole camp. And so it's kind of a thing where I got to just keep perfecting that as well as my craft and with my technique. If I had to throw out one name, I would say, you know, there's one guy out there that keeps fighting guys that don't belong in the UFC. They're not UFC fighters, you know, and he's 3-0. He's fought a guy that's never fought a mixed martial arts fight. He fought a guy that was a pro wrestler, and then he fought a guy that's just, you know, a pretty boy. Nice guy, but he's just a pretty boy, you know, he's not a real fighter. And so Mickey Gall says he's wanting to come down to 55, so I think that's a great fight. I think that if he wants to fight at a scratch weight, he wants to fight at 170, 155, it doesn't matter. You know, we'll see who runs the East Coast, and I'll show him that where Boston runs the town.
As a fighter, what do you take away from something like that when he calls out someone like Dan Hardy after his last
He's a clown. He's fighting guys that, you know, like I said, he's fought 3 nobodies. Then he's going to call a guy that's been retired, has brain damage to him, and he's not. What is he trying to do? He's trying to get easy paychecks, easy wins, and then acting like he's this high-level fighter. And I think it's kind of disrespectful. And I think that you know, it's time for him to actually like step up to the plate and fight a real fighter. And I think that I know I could easily out-grapple him, and I know I got to strike him. He's not a striker. You just tell like he was getting clowned in his last fight. So I think it's a great fight for me. I think it's a good fight for him. You know, he's 3-0. You know, I've won 3 of my last 4 fights, and I think it's a good fight for everyone. If he wants to, like I said, fight at 170, 55, scratch weight, doesn't matter. You know, we could fight.